Your call. Give Doc the shotgun. He'll be less apt to get nervy if he's on a street howitzer.
People thought Westerns were a thing of the past. That is, till Tombstone came along and showed everyone that the genre was very much alive and well. Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer delivered arguably two of the best performances of their lives in this movie. From the iconic lines to the attention to detail, here are the top 10 crazy facts about Tombstone. Stick around to the end of the video for the bonus fact as well. Number 10. You're a daisy if you do. Val Kilmer plays the iconic role of Doc in this movie, and his performance is truly stellar. But one of the greatest moments of Kilmer's character comes when he is confronted at point-blank range at the OK Corral. Staring down the barrel of the gun, Doc's confronter says he's got him now, to which Doc calmly replies, "You're a daisy if you do." But what's amazing is that this moment was apparently something real that took place in the original standoff with Doc Holliday. Imagine having the courage you need to make fun of the person standing right in front of you, ready to end your life. Number 9. Wool in Summer. Kevin Jarre, the person who directed the movie, was quite adamant that he wanted the actors to be immersed in the process of making the film and, as such, wanted them to wear period-accurate clothing. Little did the cast know that they would be wearing the purest of wool in the searing Arizona heat. Apparently, during this time, people used to wear wool clothing even in the summer, even when temperatures hit an insane 56 degrees Celsius. Val Kilmer cracked a joke on set, stating that his character, Doc Holliday, probably killed that many people purely because the heat drove him insane. Doc either went insane from the heat or was insane enough to wear wool during the summer. Number 8. Wyatt Earp.
What are you here? Ike's been up all night drinking, trying to screw up the Kurds to kill us. Billy Clanton.
Wyatt Earp is perhaps one of the most legendary men to walk the face of this planet because he not only cheated death several times, but he also outlived nearly every single member of the posse and walked with the Hollywood elite by the time of his death in 1929. Wyatt went to his grave without even a scratch from a bullet. For a man who played this dangerously with his life, you would think at least a single bullet would graze him. But no. Wyatt is possibly the definition of a legend. Number 7. Two-man job. If you enjoyed Tombstone in any aspect, be it the story or the sets, you have to thank two people, Kevin Jarre, who wrote and began directing the movie, and George A. Cosmatos, the person who was called in to finish the job. Jarre, although initially called in to shoot the movie and having written it, ended up getting fired by the studio due to several lags. Cosmatos was the person who replaced Jarre, and he ended up being someone who was extremely obsessed with detail, which is why the movie is historically down to a T. While it is sad we will never see the Jarre version of the movie, thankfully the screenplay never changed, so the movie is exactly like what Jarre envisioned. Number 6. Dafoe for Doc. Val Kilmer absolutely blew the role of Doc out of the water, but it would surprise you to know that Kilmer wasn't actually the first choice for the iconic role of Doc Holliday. The role was actually intended for Willem Dafoe. Well, Dafoe would have been cast for the role, but he was a little bit of a controversial choice at the time because he had just wrapped up shooting Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ. Buena Vista Pictures, the distributor of the film in the United States, threatened to pull out of distribution if Dafoe ended up being cast for the role. Imagine young Dafoe saying the line, "You're a daisy if you do." Are you enjoying the video so far? Before we head into the top 5 facts about Tombstone, make sure to drop a like. Now on with the show. Number 5. An iconic narration. The movie has some of the most recognizable faces of Hollywood, from Val Kilmer to Thomas Hayden Church and Sam Elliott. These are some of Hollywood's leading men, known for their bravado and raw acting talent. But there is one name that is much more prominent than all of them combined whom we never see. And it's the narrator of the movie, Robert Mitchum. Hitchum is one of the biggest legends of Hollywood. Known for his gritty and dark demeanor and films, which are grounded in reality. Hitchum, who has led an extraordinary life himself, was a fitting choice for the narrator of this iconic movie. Number 4. Promoted by the author. Wyatt Earp is quite the known figure in American culture. His story is nothing short of legendary, and he has gained the status of icon in American culture. But the question has to be asked, how did Wyatt get this famous? Well, Wyatt himself actually promoted his story with the right people, Hollywood executives. Earp always had an interest in Hollywood and ended up heading into Hollywood later on in his life, where he worked as a consultant on westerns. His stories spread like wildfire to the point where some of the most famous actors of the era were his pallbearers when he finally passed in 1929. Even legendary actor John Wayne based his cowboy walk on Earp's. Number 3. Wyatt the Invincible. There's one moment in the movie that makes everyone go, this part was clearly exaggerated. No way Wyatt Earp survived that. Which scene are we talking about? Well, it's the scene where Wyatt walks through a storm of bullets to kill Curly Bill. But what's amazing is that this scene may also be based on a real set of events.
On the thunder, well, now you got it. You see that?
Johnny Barnes survived this shootout long enough to narrate his version of the events, and he corroborates Wyatt's version of the story. Apparently, Wyatt just walked head-on into a storm of bullets and wasn't even touched by one. Isn't that crazy? It seems like death himself avoided Wyatt Earp. Number 3. The plane scene. If there is one scene in this movie that requires respect, it's one of the most hilarious and nonsensical ones. We are talking, of course, about the one scene in the movie where Burt Reynolds goes for a beer run in a plane and lands the plane in the middle of a road. This scene is one of the only ones that took a little bit of planning to execute, as any little misstep would cost not just the life of the pilot, but also cause several $1,000s in damage, not to mention the crashed airplane. The city of Covington had to prepare in advance for this stunt by taking down power lines and other hazardous obstacles that would have ruined the stunt otherwise. Number 2. Part 2 before Part 1 even finished. In the movie industry, getting a sequel to your movie is a game of luck and hope, because getting a greenlit sequel purely depends on whether or not the producers believe in a sequel and whether the sale numbers indicate that people want a second. But when it comes to the Cannonball Run, none of this mattered. In fact, the sequel to the movie was actually greenlit even before the first part hit the theater. When the producers and test audiences saw the test footage of the movie, they were falling out of their seats with laughter, so much so that the producers knew that they had an inevitable hit on their hands. Number 1. Outrun. The Cannonball Run is actually the inspiration behind Outrun, one of the greatest arcade games of all time. The creator of the game states that it was the movie that gave him the inspiration for the game. Yu Suzuki, the creator of Outrun, says that seeing the movie go out of its way to portray the freedom of the roads made the creator want to make a game where there were no objectives, rather just the open road and a fast car. And that's exactly what he delivered. Bonus fact, Jackie Chan's first Hollywood appearance. You heard that right. The Cannonball Run is actually Jackie Chan's first ever appearance in Hollywood. Playing the role of the Subaru driver with several gadgets, Jackie has only a few lines but delivers. Jackie Chan was so inspired by Needham's decision to play blooper reels that he began including them in every movie that he shot.